Welcome back to another episode of the Digi-Bros Podcast. I'm David Pearson.
I'm Eric French.
And we finally have another episode for you guys to view, listen, whatever platform you take in the media.
It's been like a month, I think, since, or no.
Probably over a month.
We had your twin brother John on.
Yeah, we had John do our intro.
Who we actually, that's what we just got back from. We spent the entire day filming for him. He just did his first proper.
Yeah, it was his first competition, and he did really well.
Mm-hmm. And we both captured some really good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
You should let them know your new gear that you got.
Oh yeah, so I upgraded, took the big boy step, and I put behind the Sony A6400, and now I have the Sony A7 III. So I went to full frame, and today was the first time I got to test it out, and it worked great. And the lens that I had on it is the kit lens that it came with, which is the 28 to 70 millimeter at f3.5, which, again, that it worked pretty great. I got to mess around with that. And video, I was pretty familiar with working with it. And then photos, just since I didn't do as much photos with the A6400, I had Eric help me a lot with like getting the settings right and stuff, and I think that a lot of them are going to turn out really well.
Oh, for sure. And it was cool to see finally make the switch, because I think the last camera is definitely good for a starter, but as you mentioned before, you want to like get more into, both photo and video stuff. I feel like your last camera was more for video than photo.
Yeah, I would say the Sony A6400 is a vlogger's camera, because it's way smaller, way more affordable. The quality, and you're getting a good bang for your buck. So you're not going to be spending as much money as you would on a full frame. So that's good for people like vloggers or any beginner. And then I feel like once you grow out of that, depending on what you want, you can kind of start looking at the full frame stuff. Some people might not stick with Sony. Because I feel like we were talking about this earlier too, for a lot of photo stuff, I feel like people like going the Canon Rebel route. Their EOS Rebel, I think, is their like really nice line. And they actually just came out with one, I think, this past year, or recently at least. And then for video, and actually I think both photo and video Sony is really solid at. But yes, definitely video Sony just gets a really cool clean look, especially with the in body stabilization that the Sony cameras have. And then on top of that, if you get a Sony native lens, that also has the OSS, which is, I think that stands for optical something stabilization, but it just means that you're gonna get cleaner, clearer pictures, and then smoother, cleaner video.
Yeah, and I think with that, since you have these kit lenses, you can just kind of try it out for different scenarios and figure, okay, what do I like shooting with this in terms of both photo and video, and also what kind of lenses am I gonna get in the future? Because you can try different focal lengths on it, so then you could see like, okay, I like the wide angle, I like the close-ups, etc. And from there you can kind of see. And also, since we share the same type of cameras, you can just try my lenses and figure out, do I like the 85? Which you did try it out earlier.
Yeah, I really liked the 85, and I think I'm gonna get excuse me. I think I'm gonna get the Sigma 85 like you have. But I also was kind of tempted to look into the 90 millimeter just because that would be a little bit different.
Yeah, for sure. I think. And as we mentioned, which I think would be a good idea for us, is if we rented a lens that we both don't have, try it out for a certain amount of time, just try it a variety of different things, and just see, okay, like, is this something that we really need or not?
Right.
So instead of just going like full force buying a lens, then being like, then it just sits on the shelf.
Yeah.
So.
And in our case, the lens we were talking about is the Sony G Master 70 to 200 millimeter zoom lens, and that is at f 1.8 or no, or
like
2.8.
2.8.
Yeah, f 2.8. Yeah. Which for a zoom lens like that, previously Sony only had it at f4, which I still think is really good. And I haven't tested, but I would assume that right now the f4 at its price point, the f4 version is going to be a better deal than the f 2.8.
For sure.
Because you could get by with f4 for most situations at least.
I think I'd say like, I'd recommend like the 2.8 if you're going more like street photography and like night photography, because especially with Sony cameras, you can really use them at nighttime with a really low aperture lens, and especially with the full frame, which you'll notice too. If we do more like night stuff, your camera will be able to handle low light pretty well too, so that'll be good. And let's see, we did get some topics on Instagram. I put on my main story some topics that you guys gave us. So the first one comes from actually someone I did a photo shoot with, and she says, "What makes a good photographer a good photographer?" Do you want to answer that first, or do you want me to give my take?
You go first because you're actually a professional photographer, and I am just a hobbyist. So I feel like you would have a say, and then I'll sort of if that invokes further questions, I'll ask you more, or I could talk a little bit about what I've noticed from you.
Gotcha. Okay, so I think I feel like there's a kind of levels that go into being a good photographer. Obviously, there's basic things like having like the passion for it, having the eye for it,
the neck,
the knowing. This honestly like spending time to learn like the settings of your camera, the lenses, like spending a lot of time like just learning the basics of it. I feel like that will really set you up to be good. Learning composition, learning depth of field. Also, just learning. Well, I feel like it depends on the situation. I'd say, like, for example, for me, in my humble opinion, I believe I'm a good portrait photographer. But I think the reason for that is because I spent so much time taking photos of you, taking photos of my brothers, other friends. And it's just, like, the time that goes into it, I feel like is what makes you a good photographer. Because a lot of people, you'll see them, they'll buy a camera, I don't know, or they'll use, like, a friend's camera. And they're like, oh, like, how come these aren't the photos that I see on Instagram? I was like, well, because you haven't put in the time to learn the importance of all the things that go into it. Because it's not just a simple point and shoot. Like, within it, like, when you really put the time into photography, you really notice the results. And we mentioned this earlier that back in 2020, we thought, like, the photos I was taking then was, like, really good. But then as I put more and more time into it, we were like, okay, like, we're getting better and better. So it's just, like, it's just consistency, I think, is what makes good photographers good photographers. In terms of like categories of photography for portraits, as I've mentioned, learning how to compose a shot, learning how to pose the models, though that's really huge. And I also made a TikTok kind of about certain things that I think are helpful. But knowing how to pose them, everyone's different. I find that certain people will not really know how to pose themselves. You know, they're not used to like being their photo taken, and that's totally fine. But being prepared for those situations definitely, I feel like, makes you more professional in that sense to help them be more comfortable and confident in front of the camera. And I think another key thing is, I was talking to my brother Austin about this, making the clients / models just confident and just comfortable around you too, because if you can build like a good relationship with them, then they're going to be more comfortable around you and in front of the camera.
Right, and it'll come across more natural too, 100%. Opposed to like, all right, like I'm gonna need you to smile, and then like if they're not comfortable, then it's kind of gonna show.
Awkward smiles for sure. And with that, I think I'll give a key tip here. What I do before a shoot, especially if it's something that I haven't done in a while, like grad photos or something, I'll look back at like previous shoots similar to it, and then I'll also kind of research as to different types of poses I can try out. And a lot of it's also during the shoot, kind of on the spot, based on like the scenario.
And location too.
And with that, I recently did a grad shoot at the Capitol. Never done a shoot there. That was, I think, it's on like April 1st I went there. And with that, I implemented like the benches there, the steps, the checkerboard floors. A lot of that was just kind of on the spot, like, let's try this pose, you walk here, throw the cap here, pop the champagne. And with that, in a sense, I did prepare because I did look up certain things, and I made sure.
Did you did she propose that location?
She did, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, okay, I'm like, I haven't done a shoot there.
That's a good location, and now hopefully you're comfortable enough to where you could suggest that too if someone doesn't know where they would want it, because the capital is a pretty area.
Mm-hmm. And it was busy too.
Yeah.
Always busy, especially because I went on like a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think going back to the what makes a good photographer. So I think in general, because I was what was that?
A gremlin.
That's not good. That's all my hard drive boxes.
Oh,
they're
nice.
good. They're packaged
broke
up.
his hard drives.
Don't say that. Don't say that. But I think going back to the question, what makes a good photographer a good photographer? I think it's just kind of the main thing is just the time that's spent on it, and I feel like that goes kind of for anything, right? A lot of good basketball players they're good because they put a lot of time into it, learning certain dribble moves, working on their jump shot, their post moves. Yeah. So it's like I feel like
the dedication.
Towards anything is what's going to make you better at it.
Right.
And I think a lot of things, especially I think this really applies to photography, is that you can go on like online and watch YouTube videos and social media posts and stuff, but you're not going to get good just by watching that all day. You have to actually like go out and try
and practice and actually fail. You have to fail first.
Like if you scrolled back to my first few months on Instagram with my photography, those photo shoots were pretty whack. Like, but I knew I had to do that to get to where I wanted to be today. Because when I first started, I was like, the goal was to get to where I am today. Well, obviously not where, because I still have things to do, but get to the point where I'm able to work with people and do paid work. And with that, like this coming month, May, it's like my most busy month yet, like ever in photography. So I kind of set myself up for that because I knew like I wanted to get to that level, but I had to go through those terrible photo shoots, terrible ideas, terrible just knowledge at the time to get to where I wanted to be today. Do you have any topics about that, like good photographer thing?
I think willingness to try new things and like branch out, and like I know everyone has their own style, and like you'll see that like the big dog like pro photographers, they have very distinct styles, but you have to realize that they got those styles from trying out a lot of different things, and just even in some cases doing things that are like, wow, that's a miss. So yeah, just not being afraid to branch out and try something a little different, a little funky, and also just have fun with it. Because if you're not having fun, then that's not fun for anyone. And yeah, and it kind of comes out like I feel like in whatever art medium that is, whether it's camera or whatever. If you're not happy with it, or if you're not passionate or finding joy in it, it comes through.
100%. And I think I agree 100% with the fact that you have to develop your style, because like my first honestly probably like the first year, like all of 2020, my style was like all over in terms of what I was shooting and like how I would like edit my photos and stuff. But I feel like more 2021, and I think we have like some stuff on the wall. I'm going for more like warmer colors. Like I do a lot of shoots during golden hour just because of the fact that I like the golden hour light, and it's like my preference, and I feel like it's kind of my style. And with that, I implement that into just random portrait shoots and a lot of like, grad shoots and things like that. So the next question comes from my brother Austin, and he says, ideas on how people can start a business or how to become a digital creator. Should we talk about business first or digital creator?
You could talk about business because I don't have business.
Gotcha. So I think the simplest, we could talk really simple of how to start business. The biggest thing is social media presence. I feel like in terms of, obviously every business is different, but if I were to say, if you're wanting to start a portrait photography business, biggest thing is take photos of family and friends and whatnot, just put it all over social media. Just be consistent with whatever your business thing is, whether that, like Austin, his basketball training, he's constantly practicing his own stuff, and then when time comes and he learns a new drill or technique, he'll film it and put it on social media, and then from there do more social media stuff, network himself to local high schoolers and even just college athletes, and just try to work with them, because it's like once you get that snowball effect rolling, then you get more clients and more money, obviously, and that's what grows the business. And for that, with me too, like when I started mine out, the first year of 2020, I'll be honest, wasn't like much profit because, you know, I was new. Like I didn't know how to really market myself. 2021 went up a bit, but 2022 so far has been like the best in terms of profit. Um, I ran a lot of like ads across social media, especially like Instagram and Facebook for the grad shoots. So that's got me to double digit bookings for 1 month. And that's, for me, I think that's a lot because before it'd be like 1 to 2 shoots a month of paid work. And then I do just like my lifetime job, photography, and then just kind of fun shoots that we do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still learning the marketing side, so I wouldn't go into detail of how to market because, you know, I'm still learning and I'm still trying things. But
Right.
in terms of business, it's just like be consistent with it. Try posting it on social media. Reach out to people. A huge thing is networking, because it's like, for example, for me, where I find that I've done a photo shoot for someone and then they recommend it to their friend or they post it on social media. Next thing you know, their friend messaged me saying, "Oh, I really like your work. Can you do this shoot at this time?" Do shoot for them. Guess what? They post the shoot. Boom, their friends and followers see that they want to shoot. So it's a snowball effect. It's hard to get the foot like in the door, but once you do, it's honestly not that bad. You just have to be consistent with it. I try posting my best work across my social media, especially Instagram, because a lot of people like our generation look at Instagram, especially a photographer's Instagram, as their form of a portfolio. But with that, also have a website and a separate site as a portfolio. So it's like one is just strictly like Instagram, where it's just all of my work, and the other is a website where they can just see a preview of my work, a little bit about me, and then they can book a shoot and ask questions.
Yeah, and I think in general for business, like if you're trying to create a business, or I guess this might apply more to if you're trying to create a product, but I guess in some cases photography, the person is the product, but make sure you have a market that you're selling to, like
the niche.
Yeah, and supply and demand, you know, and if the kind of market or like group that you're trying to sell to or cater to is a smaller like niche type of thing, don't expect, you know, really big things to happen really soon. It's okay to expect growth, but don't don't be pumping out and spending a lot of money on something that you're not going to get that like exponential growth on, because then you're just going to lose money.
100%. And I think also cycling back to like if you're trying to do like a photography business, focus on one form of photography, because if you're trying to just do all kinds of different types of photography, then you're not necessarily putting one focus on being the best at whatever type it is. And then if people see you, like your work or your website, and they're kind of like, okay, then what do you do? Then it's like, oh, I do this, 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 and this. Where I'm just like, okay, I just kind of do portraits. Like, sure, I have a job as like a basketball photographer, but I don't market myself. I market portraits because I know that's my best work. And within portrait, there's niches within that. Portraits, headshots, graduation photos, which is kind of like seasonal. Couples, weddings, which eventually I'll get into that category of trying to do weddings, but it's just like really, you have to find that niche, and then make sure you enjoy the niche too. Because if I were to try doing just, I don't even know, like landscape nature photography as like a niche, sure, I enjoyed nature photography. I started out with it, but after a while I was like, I enjoy taking photos of people, because for me personally, I feel like there's a lot more joy that I get from it, because I can build the connection with the person, get to know them and meet them, and just, you know, build relationships with people that I never knew before. So I think definitely in that side, it's why I enjoy portraits. And I think also that kind of touched on how to become a digital creator. For digital creator, it's kind of like similar. Find your niche. What do you want to create? Make sure that you enjoy it, and then just post on whatever platforms. Try different things. There's going to be a lot of things that flop, especially on TikTok. You're going to try different things. They don't work. I've experienced it. And then eventually with time, you'll find certain things that people enjoy, and then your views might spike, and you'll gain followers and traction from that. And you just kind of want to just give back to that audience that's following you and engaging in your content, because you want to like give them value.
But stay like yourself, you know,
100%.
always be yourself in all of that. And of course, like there's going to be different styles, different trends that, you know, you hop on. And I think, like, especially when it comes to, like, TikTok, yeah, I'd say jump on the trends, but make them your own. Like, make them very, like, specific to you or to your fan base, you know?
Yeah, because there's certain trends that I would see, and I'd put my own like photography portrait spin on it, or I make like a photography joke, and it does pretty well. And you see like other photographers engaging in it, and just with that, because if I were to just do a random trend that has nothing to do with me or like my page, then it's most likely gonna flop because people don't follow me for comedy or whatever the case may be. They follow me mainly for photography. So it's like once you find whatever it is, just try implementing trends within it. Don't copy other creators, but see what they do and see like how to do your own take on certain things. If it's successful, if it doesn't work, just move on to the next thing. New TikTok trends happen probably like every 2 days, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
And the last question we have is from Emmy, who we had on the podcast, which I think I could answer this. And he says, how do you tell clients their budget isn't enough for what they're asking for? So I think he's trying to say, so your clients, their budget isn't enough for, is he saying that they're...
So, like, pretty much, I guess...
They're trying to pay less than...
Right, exactly. Okay. So it's like, I mean, one, it's always good that you need to know your worth, and that's sort of like where I'm at too. Not that I want to do it professionally, but I have had several people ask, hey, would you mind, filming, this, like my kid's like recital? Would you mind filming like this? And people are like, I would, I'll pay you, like, name your price. And that leaves me with, well, I don't know my price because I've never done this for work. And for me, I was thinking of ending up going a little bit cheaper, but just because I'm a hobbyist, so I don't have those skills yet. But as I develop my skills, my gear, gets better.
Pricey.
Yeah, exactly. I everything can start going up, and so I would honestly just say be truthful. Like. If they're coming to you for a reason, they've probably seen your stuff and they know that your stuff is really, really good. And so that being said, if you guys can probably be pretty close to being on the same page about how good your stuff is. And then you just have to sell them on, if you agree that my stuff is this good, then it's worth the price of paying for it.
And here's what you're going to get out of that price.
Right.
Like whenever as I was running those Instagram ads for the grad shoots, a lot of them, the common question is, what are your rates? What do you charge an hour? Like, how many photos am I going to get? Like, what's the turnaround from the photo shoot and when I expect the photos? And luckily, like, I've done photo shoots for so long that I know, like, the answers to those questions. So for me, I get the photos back within, like, 48 to 72 hours at most, usually 48 hours because I have a good editing flow. Within that, I know how many photos I take per shoot. If it's an hour shoot, it could be like 100 to 200. It really just depends on the variety of poses we do, the variety of different things within the general location that we're shooting. And with that, I have different packages. I recently made these in the past few months. And I actually recently made like mini shoot packages where if someone sees the price of a full hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, and they see the price, that's too much money. And, I can understand different people's situations, but... That's why I made packages for mini shoots where it's like a 30-minute shoot, 45-minute, an hour, etc. And it's cheaper. It's gonna cost you less. You're still gonna get photos, but not as many, and it's not gonna be as long of a shoot. So with that, they're getting value, and at the same time, I'm getting paid, but I'm not giving them all of my time and energy into the shoot. Because obviously, when I do the shoot, I'm gonna put my effort into it. I'm gonna make sure the photos are good, but I'm not gonna be doing a shoot for 2 hours for, a lot less when I could be charging a lot more, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, that does.
And even like the beginning of this year, my prices went up, and I think within the next few months I'll probably have them go up more because I got a new camera in like February, not cheap. With that, I want to make sure I'm getting my worth out of this. I put a lot of time into the photos that I take, and a lot of time goes into the editing process too. And honestly, even planning too, just emailing back and forth with people, texting, just planning the entire thing. Yeah. And in my opinion, a lot of my time and energy goes into these photo shoots because I'm really passionate about giving them good photos. So many photo shoots in the past, where they just love the results. So it makes me feel good that, okay, this wasn't for nothing. And that's why I charge the prices that I charge. I'm not going to reveal that because, just you'd have to
check out his website if you're interested.
Yeah, you'd have to like go back and forth with me through email and stuff. But with that, just charge to what the value provide. When I first was doing portrait shoots the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, I wasn't charging what I charge now because I still knew I was still in the process of learning portraits, and with that, my prices didn't really go up until like the later half of 2021, and then they went up more this year because I got more bookings, and I feel like as you get more busy, you would I feel like, in my opinion, I'm gonna start charging more if I get more busy because
supply and demand.
100%.
Supply and demand.
Because I don't want to. Oh, my business cards were just delivered. That's nice. But with that, like, a lot of time goes into these. My next month of May gonna be super busy with shoots. So if anyone, and most likely there's gonna be cases where people are gonna book like last minute. They're trying to book me like 2 days before a shoot when I'm already booked. So with that, I can offer a shoot, but I'm most likely going to charge more because I don't really have the time.
Right. No, I think that's a good idea too. Is like last minute. Yeah. Like if obviously don't overbook yourself or like double book yourself, but if someone is like, hey, could you fit me in? It'd be like, yeah, this is the price for wanting it the next day or in 2 days or whatever. And then also, I think a good idea is do you have any cancellation fees?
I do not, because with that, I can just clear them from their date, and then I could, because there's certain people that they've emailed me for a shoot, and then I let them know prices, then nothing, because whether they don't like the price or the dates didn't work or whatever. So for me personally, if someone backs out for the grad shoot, I'm not really tripping about it because I still know of like 3 to 5 people that have gone back and forth with me about booking shoots, but they haven't picked a date yet because they're just, whatever reason. Right. So, and with that, like because I have like 10 shoots in May for grad photos. All those people found me from Instagram. Most likely, majority of them are going to post them on Instagram. And with that, they most likely know people that are also graduating or just people in general that like my work. So I feel like that's going to lead to also people from there also wanting to book. So within that, like, I already have some group shoots that are going to be planned for June, even though that's after graduation and whatnot. So, and with that, I agree with like the late fees. There's definitely be a price with that, but I'm also going to offer like mini shoots. Like, I can't give you this much of my time because this is last minute. I don't really have time. I'm already booked, but I can offer you a mini shoot for this price. If that works, great. If not, oh well, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
And I think now we can kind of talk about plans for summer, because I don't know the next podcast because we're both pretty booked for a while.
I know. No, I was gonna say it honestly might be like once every other month.
Yeah, honestly.
But yeah, just because work for me has been super busy, and then it's probably only gonna get busier. And I didn't tell you about this, but I'm applying for an apprenticeship program.
I think I did hear about that.
Yeah, and it's for electrical work. But if I get accepted into it, I would be. Hey guys, sorry, the camera stopped recording because the time that it records is 20 minutes at a time, and we didn't realize that we were over that time. But
new camera.
Yeah, new camera. I'm still learning it, but the audio should all be good. So yeah, moving to Southern California, and that would be for 4 years.
Whoa, wait, when was that? I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, I know, and I'm kind of.
Start though this year?
It would start whenever. I need to send in my application. That's like if I get accepted, and it's like an interview process too. But yeah, it's a 3.5 to 4 year program. I'd still visit and stuff. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But then you'd have an excuse to come to SoCal. Yes. Yeah. But yeah. So I don't know what the future holds.
Vibing right now.
Yeah, we're chilling.
One thing I can say though, which I did tell you about, is I technically picked up another photography job. It's this boutique brand in like our area, And with them, I'm going to be doing shoots either every Sunday or every other Sunday. It just depends on their scheduling and my scheduling. But it's going to be I'm going to be really busy in May, but I wanted to just start with them to just get the ball rolling and, kind of them seeing my work and planning for more. But it's going to be like either every Sunday or every other Sunday I'm going to have a shoot with them, but it's mainly like mini shoots, so it's not too bad.
What's the name of the boutique?
I don't know the name off the top of my head, but it's something with pineapple in the name. But they're pretty popular for like Sacramento area.
Nice.
And with that, it's going to be like, for example, in May, like I have a shoot on like a Sunday, right? I'll do the grad shoot, prioritize them because they've been booked for a while. And I'm like going to be like, okay, look, like I can stop by their shop, and from there we plan. Do you want to do a mini shoot right now, later in the day, kind of thing? And so I think what I'm going to do on certain days is do an entire grad shoot and then just do another shoot for them right after, and it'll be like 30 minutes to at most an hour, doubt because it's a mini shoot. But that's getting me paid. That's getting and with that, I'm working with their models, so I'm gonna be able to work with new people, network, and I think this, I guess in my senses, I consider it a job. It's going to be good for, meeting new people, obviously getting paid, just networking too, and just more experience with new people doing portraits. So I think that'll be fun. And in the summer, we have plans for day trips. Don't really know the plans yet.
Just that we need to do them.
Yeah. But rest of May, grad shoots, the brand shoots, school. Don't really need to talk about school. Just super busy.
Yeah.
Then I know at some point I'm taking summer school, and I think that's like first or second week of June. So then I'll be probably busy with that. But we'll still get our shoots going, videos, podcasts we'll try.
We'll have to do sunsets too, since sunset will be like late in the day.
Like 7, 8,
So most stuff, like I'll be off work by then and all that stuff.
What would be cool is that since John's going to use your old camera, the three of us could go out together, do photo shoots, video content, whatever. And even because I'm sure Austin would love to tag along. Give him my old camera for the day and just boom, 4 cameras. We're all just kind of just doing whatever, like videography stuff, capturing the moment, whatever photos. So
I think we should try more, and I'll join in on it too, since I'm practicing. But just challenges of like challenging ourselves to like put ourselves out there. So like if we're walking around like kind of a shopping mall sort of area, or just like an area that has like kind of more people, just be like, hey, like go ask that person if you could do a few portraits, and kind of gets rid of some like nerves in terms of talking to strangers, but it also just gives more practice, so.
And I think that could be...
And that's also networking too, in and of itself, because then if they're like, wow, I really like these pictures, it's like, okay, great, tell all your friends, here's my card.
Instagram, I think that would be good too for you, because I don't know how many people you would know that would like model and stuff,
right?
Because if we go out and you work with people, because for the longest time I was always taking photos of you, but what I noticed is when I take photos of just different people, it kind of helps try out different poses and stuff in different situations. So I think that'll be good, and then obviously I can help you with like, these are the settings you should use and just little tips. So, but I'm excited to see the work that you're going to be creating.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You said you'll be working on a new Instagram for content. So
I'm a scrap my current photography one, and then I'm going to, and I'll probably end up scrapping my drone one just because I haven't
used that in a while.
And then I'll just have one for all of my media stuff.
Yeah, that's what I do, because I remember when I saw you had like the drone on the photo, I'm like, well, that's like hard to be on all of them. So I just used the one, but I do got to use my drone some more. In the summer we'll use it.
I think so.
I think we just got to go to like Tahoe or just maybe Monterey, and that could be kind of cool for the drone. But that's the thing with drones, I feel like you have to go to like a nice scenic spot to get
and actually shots. You can't do it at Tahoe technically.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, because national parks. It's technically illegal in national parks. Yet, a few times ago that I was at Tahoe, I saw someone flying one, and I was like, I'm gonna tell the cop. No, yeah, you're not supposed to.
We'll find some scenic spots. I feel like beaches and stuff. I see people flying drones. I always see the aerial shots. Yeah, but
Especially if no one's around, dude. Like,
Get a quick shot.
who's gonna judge? Like, but yeah.
I mean, I feel like that kind of wraps up this episode.
You want to sign us off?
Yeah, thanks guys for watching. Be on the lookout for David's new Instagram. I'll be sure to share it on the podcast and my own stuff. Lots of content to come from both of us. And with that, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe to the podcast channel on YouTube and whatever the platform is. There's a lot of them. But yeah, see you guys later.
Bye.